Hello, friend. Welcome to day 5 of From Worn Out and Weary to Radiant. Today we're discussing vision. Okay, yesterday we talked about seasons, and tomorrow we're going to talk about willpower. I'm giving you guys a bonus, just so you know, heads up. You get a bonus tomorrow. So yesterday we talked about seasons, and today we are talking about vision. Vision is so important because no matter what season you are in, you actually can take control over where you end up. I don't believe we have full control. I believe there is a higher power that has full control. But what I will say is when we have no vision, there's no telling where we will end up, okay? Have you ever watched Canada's Worst Driver? Or America's Worst Driver, or any of the worst drivers? I'm sure there's a few of them. They set up obstacle courses for these people. And the information, the directions that they're given are focus on where you want to go. But inevitably, when the people are driving, they end up focusing on the obstacles. And when they focus on the obstacles, they drive right into the obstacles and take them out. And I realized that, oh my goodness, this is what we do. So what I do is I have a tendency to focus on all the problems, all the obstacles, and I drive right into them over and over and over again. So if we want to get around the obstacles, if we want to get to where we want to go, we need to focus on where we want to go. We want to focus on what we want to see in our lives. We want to focus on where do we want our energy to be at? Where do we want our joy to be at? Where do we want our lives? What do we want them to look like? If I think back to 8 years ago, where my life was headed, I don't want to think about that, but I will. I realized that my marriage probably wasn't going to last if I continued on the path that I was on. My health was going to completely fall apart. Because in actuality, just 2 years ago, I had a serious wake-up call with my health. And if I hadn't already been on a path to taking better care of my health, I'd probably be on a pile of medication right now. And I don't know, there was a season, there was a few weeks there that I was not sure if I'd ever be able to walk normally again, run normally again. And I'm not even 40, okay? I am way too young to have those kind of concerns. So if I had not been on the healthy path that I was already on, I don't want to know where my physical health would be. But it's important for us to look where we are and where we're headed. And fast forward 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years, where is that going to take us? Is that where we want to go? And if that's not where we want to go, we need to make changes. Small shifts in a new direction will completely change. So think about this actually, like you're headed down a path. All it takes is one little change and you are in a totally different direction, right? Totally different change. It doesn't have to be great, big, giant, huge changes. It's little changes every day. And that'll keep you in a whole different path. And I'm so thankful for the small changes that I've made in my life and the small changes that I've seen other people make to get themselves into the life that they want to live. So yes, vision. What do you want to see? Where do you want to go? What do you want your life to look at? So I called this self-care program From Worn Out and Weary to Radiant. Why? Because my vision for you and my vision for me is radiance, inside and out. Okay, sure, external beauty, that's wonderful. But when I think of radiance, it's not about, I like to do my hair. I like to, make myself look nice. But that's not radiance because, you can be dressed all up, your hair looking good, your makeup perfect, on point. And if you've got a foul attitude, if you've got a sour heart, you're not radiant. No, now you're just I'm not going to use that word. I use that word, but I'm not going to use that word right now. That's not what we want, right? It's not what I want. I don't think that's what you want, right? We want true radiance inside and out. That's my vision for this year. And if you like that vision, feel free to join me in that vision. So yes, what we focus on is what we get. So I want to focus on radiance because that's how I want to feel. I want to radiate love and joy to my family every day. Do I fall short of that? Every day. But it's my vision because I want to get closer to that. That's where I want to go. So let's look at these, the halts P a minute just to kind of bring it full circle. Hungry. If we're hungry, where do we want to go? What do we want to focus on? Well, if we focus on the cookies that we bought because we were craving sugar in the grocery store, and we think, I shouldn't eat the cookie, I shouldn't eat the cookie, I shouldn't eat the cookie, guess what? You're going to eat the cookie because you're focusing on the freaking cookie, right? So what do you need to focus on? You need to focus on the things that you're going to eat. You're going to cut up a head of cabbage or a head of cauliflower or some carrots or some cucumber or some broccoli, and you're going to focus on getting that done. Here, fun fact. When I'm making supper, my kids are always starving. Know what I do? I cut up some raw vegetables. The guy that was just on our yard just drove across my lawn. Anyway, I cut up some raw vegetables, some cauliflower, carrots, whatever, and I throw them on the table before supper. And my kids can eat as much of that as they want before supper. And you know what? My kids love cauliflower and broccoli and whatever because they're used to eating that. And when you serve it to them first, they fill up on that, and then they don't need all the other stuff afterwards. Okay, angry. If we're angry, where do we want to focus? What do we want to focus on? Okay, I had this just this week. I mentioned this in another video where my baby had touched the fridge magnets. I'm embarrassed to tell that part of the story, but all of a sudden, like, it was that thing, and then every other thing that had any kind of ability to frustrate me all of a sudden piled on top of itself. All the little irritations with my kids and my husband and my house and my finances, all the little things that I had been thinking about, all of a sudden piled up on me all at the same time, and I was ready to explode. Okay. Anger. Where do you focus? Okay. Well, I needed to focus on what I wanted. Part of me wanted to like get at my husband and start, like, let's hash this out. I wanted to start a fight with my husband, but I chose not to. I took some space. What did I do? I think I ate some protein, honestly, is a good thing to do when you're angry because you're hangry sometimes. I took a minute to deal with a couple of things. I put on some oils. I had a breather, and then sat down and had a cup of tea. And I think we went and visited somebody. Yes, that's actually what we did. We went to go visit somebody. And I was tempted to just stay home and be miserable all by myself, and like dwell on all these things. But I was like, you know what? No, I just need a distraction till I'm not in this space anymore. I need to address these things. I need to talk about these things. Clearly, they've been bugging me. But if I would have started that conversation in that moment, it would have been a fight. But rather than having a fight, when I was in a much better state physically, I was able to go back and talk to my husband about some of the things that were between me and him in a very calm manner. And I realized, okay, it's not actually what I thought it was. I had misunderstood one thing. Yeah. So when we are angry, don't focus on all the problems. Take a breather, step back, focus on what you want to have. Do you want to have a good marriage, or do you want to have a fight? Do you want to feel radiant, or do you want to rage? Right? Okay. Let's look at some of these other ones. Pain. I think I'm going to skip some of the other ones. We'll go into those deep more another day. But pain, this is one that I really wanted to address. I have a friend who was doing a little workout the other day, and she talked about her joints cracking the whole time. And I was thinking, friend, you focus on your joints cracking, you're never going to be able to keep working out. You're going to get discouraged very, very quickly. Okay. So when it comes to pain, when it comes to doing the things that we need to do to overcome that, you got to focus on what you want to see. So if you're working out, to have more energy and to feel stronger, you got to focus on that. If you're focusing on, oh, this hurts, oh, I'm tired, you're going to lose your motivation very, very quickly. So I guess that's not pain per se. It was just something that came up in my mind. So I guess what you could focus on with pain is, and this is something that has been really cool. One time I had a toothache. This is a random story that I wasn't planning to share. One time I had a toothache. Okay, apparently I've had toothaches more often. I just realized I already told a toothache story, but this was a while back, and it would not go away. I had it for a whole week. And rather than focusing on, the pain, obviously, like I put some oils on, I used all kinds of things, and it wasn't going away. And I started thinking, I receive healing. Like, I'm not sure why this hasn't been healing, but maybe I'm not receiving it. Now, this is something that goes much more into the mindset side of things, but this is a part of it. But when I started saying, I receive healing, that toothache went away. So maybe that was just a weird coincidence. I have no idea. Maybe it was something in my body just hanging on to pain for whatever reason. Maybe it was stress. I don't know. But again, it's what we focus on. If we focus on the pain, it is obvious. Now that's a little bit confusing because I'm not saying, oh, just ignore the pain. That's not what I'm saying at all. Sometimes like the pain is an indicator to let us know that something's wrong. Okay, so whether it's physical pain in our bodies, it's like, okay, we've pushed it too hard, or we need to take care of this, or it's emotional pain where it's an indicator that there's a problem in the relationship or whatever. I'm not saying ignore the pain, but I am saying focus on the solution. Focus on healing that pain. Focus on dealing with that pain. I just want to make sure I was very clear on that. So just looking through my little guide, if you don't have your guide or your workbook, the guide is free and you can download that, or you can order the full workbook. Oops, sorry, should have had it beside me here. So the Real Self-Care Workbook is, I keep adding to it, it is 24 lessons, complete lessons. In our group, we do one lesson per week. I do the guide in kind of 1 week where we go through like 5 quick lessons together and a couple bonus lessons together in 1 week. And then we do 1 lesson per week. So you can go ahead and order that. If you want to get in on the full 24 lessons, you can do that. Or if you want to just start with 5-day guide, definitely grab that. I will post the links below if you don't already have those. I've had a lot of fun doing these videos. I am going to do a bonus one tomorrow. So I will check in with you tomorrow where we're going to discuss willpower, and it's not what you think. Have a great day.